Is it weird that I actually like feedback? Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kat and I write children's fiction. I also am a professional writer of non-fiction, which means that I get a lot of feedback and criticism for my writing. And believe it or not, I actually like it. So I'm actually really happy to receive even negative feedback and criticism because it means that I've been given an opportunity to improve my writing. But this doesn't mean that I was always good at taking feedback or that it doesn't sting a little from time to time to receive criticism. Since being able to evaluate and take in feedback and criticism is such an essential skill in your toolkit as a writer, I actually decided to make 2 videos on this topic. The first video today is going to address how you can actually tell good feedback, so good quality, helpful, constructive feedback, from just plain, mean, and unhelpful feedback. At first, I would like you to make a difference between unsolicited and solicited feedback. Why, hello there, stranger whom I've talked to for 20 seconds. I'm sure you can give me quality feedback based on all the information that you don't have. Wait. I'm not saying that all unsolicited feedback is automatically just wrong and not helpful, but people who give unsolicited feedback tend to have a certain kind of personality. And this leads me to my next point. Point number 2, consider who is criticizing you. Firstly, you have to think about if the reader is even in your target group. For example, if they don't like romance novels, you can write the best romance novel in the world and they will probably not like it. Or if they are literary snobs, they probably won't like your fast-paced young adult novel. So knowing that you can't be everyone's cup of tea is key when you receive feedback. Also consider how this person behaves the rest of the time. So, for example, are they just on a whole very negative and rude and just overly critical all the time? Then why would you give them your manuscript? I mean, don't get me wrong, it can definitely be beneficial to give your manuscript to people who are very nitpicky and who will just find every single thing that you could improve. But don't overdo it. Just don't give your manuscript to haters. Also consider which angle they are coming from. Do they want to genuinely help you to improve your writing? Or are they maybe too shy to give you an honest opinion because they want to spare your feelings? Or do they just want to tear you down because they see you as unwanted competition? So really just make sure that you trust the people who are going to give you feedback at this vulnerable stage. Point number 3, know what you want to write. We just established that readers have preferences, and so do you probably. So just make sure that you're really clear on what you actually want to write. This will help you to make informed choices because then you can evaluate the feedback that you're getting based on if it will bring you closer to your ideal book or further away from it. This point is also very closely related to the next point, point number 4, know your theory. Yes, you might have a personal preference, but maybe you think you have this great next idea, and it turns out many people had that idea before. They just didn't execute it because it would make for horrible storytelling. I would really advise you to get a very solid understanding and a firm grasp of the writing craft, because that's the only way you can then know the rules and make a decision to break them, rather than just breaking them accidentally because you didn't know any better and then you just end up with a book that's not very good. Point number 5. Make a difference between constructive criticism, even if it's maybe not phrased in a constructive way, and just plain hating. If someone tells you, this story is boring, it sucks, I would rather sit in an anthill than read this. This is not exactly constructive criticism. But if someone tells you, oh, your characters are so boring, they suck, I would rather sit on an anthill than talk to them or spend one more second with them, then maybe that's something to think about. This is basically just to show you that constructive criticism is not always that easy to spot. So I would definitely urge you not to dismiss criticism that sounds a bit off right away, and just ask questions. Ask the person to elaborate more, to give you some examples, to go a bit more into detail. Maybe it will turn out that they actually had a pretty good point. If they, on the other hand, have very strong opinions that they are not voicing in a very polite way, and they can't tell you why they have those strong opinions, then just don't listen to them, because they are not giving you constructive criticism. It could also happen to you that somebody is giving you criticism that's very constructive, but also very subjective. So some people, no matter how well they're written, just won't like certain genres, tropes, characters, or even words. So here, again, it really helps to know what kind of book you actually want to write and to know your writing craft. And then you might still choose to dismiss that criticism, even though it was constructive. Point number 6, and in my opinion the most important one, is to get a lot of feedback. There are just so many reasons that make feedback very valuable and pretty much essential to your writing journey. So really don't shy away from it. Get as much of it as you can. This will help you with several things. Of course, apart from the obvious thing that it will just improve your writing. So one thing that it will help you with is to kind of figure out if something is just subjective and a personal preference of one reader, or if it's an actual problem in your story because there are several readers who just keep pointing it out to you. It will also help you to evaluate the kind of criticism that you get, because you'll have points of comparison. You will have people where you exactly know that you can trust their feedback, and you will figure out that in contrast, some of them you can't really trust them. The third point is also finally that the more feedback you get, the more different perspectives you will get as well. And that's always great. All of that being said, and all these disclaimers and considerations aside, I just want to stress that I personally accept almost all the feedback that is given to me. And I'm really saying like 95+% here. So I really always try to look if there's any truth in the feedback that is given to me. Maybe even if I initially disagree with it, because there's a very good chance that if one person didn't get it or found something really awkward or just thought the flow was off, there's a good chance that when somebody reads it later, they will feel the same way. So I just always try to listen to all the feedback that I can get. Again, this doesn't mean that feedback is always easy to take, and that's exactly where next week's video will come in, because in next week's video I will talk about how you can kind of take negative feedback and take criticism and, make something positive out of it. So hit the subscribe button just so you don't miss this video. Also, leave me an emoji in the comments that shows how you feel whenever you hand out your manuscript and then get it back with criticism and feedback in it. Hit the like button if you like this video. Follow me on all of my other social media. I will link them down below. And now I just wish you a great day and happy writing. Bye!